Hey YouTube, Eric here, Super Grandma's channel, bringing you guys a new segment that I'm starting called Hot Tech of the Month. And pretty much what it is I'm just going to pick a card that I see, or that I feel is seeing a lot of play recently. And I'm going to talk about why the card is seeing so much play and all the decks that are teching it and how much they're teching in each deck. So, yeah, well, obviously, I don't know if you see that hot tech of this month, November, is Thunder King Ryo. And I feel that he started to see most play when Billy Break was maining two of this guy in his plant deck. And that was the first time that he had won a YCS, and that was the beginning, I feel, of this card being in every deck at least two. If you see, if you look like the top 32 at YCS Kansas City, pretty much every deck was playing two of this card. Like, it didn't really matter what deck it was playing Thunder King, because he is just an all-around really good card. He's a 19 beater, light attribute, and since BLS is also being played in a lot of decks, he's good for that reason. And he is more of a control card, which since Pot of Avarice is limited now, and Raikou isn't being used in as many decks, like, this guy's become the new light tech card in a lot of decks. So yeah, he's a control card. He stops searches, considering Sangan's really popular, and it stops Exceeds with Tour Guide. It's a good opening first turn to summon Thunder King and like some back row, because it really shuts down a lot of your opponent's plays, and negates special summons as well. So yeah, he's really, really solid this format, a really good control card. I suggest running him in any deck, just because he's all around really good. So, um, I'll show you guys some of the decks that he's was being played in, and also some of the decks that I feel are kind of weird, but are still really good, that you should play him in. So, yeah, I'll show you guys. The first deck is the deck that most recently topped, which is Chaos. Courtney Waller topped YCS, you guys probably already know, with Chaos. And he won with his engine of Dimensional Alchemist, which was a light target, but he also played two Thunder Kings in his deck. And the Thunder Kings really helped because it was a good control card first turn. Often they can't get rid of the Thunder King turn 1. You could also, if you're in a tight situation or whatever, you could sack him for Caius. He's a level 4, so he's good with Mind Control. Mind Control their Thunder King, or Mind Control something of theirs and summon your Thunder King. You can either Exceed with it, Synchro with it. So it's also good that he's a level 4. But yeah, and he's also a light attribute for this deck, and he's recyclable with Dimensional Alchemist. Um, so yeah, it's really fits well in the deck right now, a lot better than Raikou is, because it's a more control format, and especially because Avarice is limited. So, yeah, Chaos, definitely a really good card to run in the deck. Two to three in that deck. Thunder King's been running a lot in this deck a lot beforehand. Uh, Heroes, Angel Flores played two Thunder King in his Heroes when he made like Light Gemini. I think it's really good because he's a light 19, which fits the deck perfectly, because a lot of the cards in here are 1900, and it's a target for Miracle Fusion, Super Poly, and he provides in the deck's anti-meta-ish heroes. So Thunder King works well, especially in like the skill drain variant. Thunder King gets around 8 tributes as a cost. So yeah, Heroes, well, I mean, they've been playing him for a while, so I'd main 2 to 3 in this deck as well. some, or well, here, we'll go to this one. This deck. This was what Billy Break started the trend. Thunder King and Plants. 2 Thunder Kings. Because it's a light for BLS, it's level 4, it's a good turn 1 card, overall it's just a solid card, and then, every plant deck I see now is like 2 Thunder King Rattle. I'm not even remotely surprised, as I look for, like, Thunder King is a staple now in plants, pretty much, since Billy Break topped, and, yeah, because with Raikou, you mill. Avarice helped you recycle the cards that you mill, like Lone Fire, but now Lone Fire is down to 1, so you really don't want to mill it, and it's a lot harder to get back with Avarice, because Avarice is down to 1 too. So with a lot of the plant engine being down to 1, Raikou isn't used as much, so Thunder King is a good substitute. So, yeah, some of the more recent decks that I've seen that have been using this card are, this deck, Car Curry. The guy who just won, I forgot his name. He top forward at Kansas City with Thunder Kings. The Gen X Neutron build that Jeff Jones had originally played with is really highly competitive now. Gen X Neutron's a great card, I think. A lot of people don't like it because they're like, oh, well, it has to be on the field till the end phase. Well, if you summon it turn 1, then there's not much they can do besides Valor to stop the search, and you add this card Nanishi to your hand, and you set up your plays for the next turn. It opens up a lot of options. It's a machine too, so that's really good. Because you can then play like cards like Blackluster Soldier in your deck. Also, it's a good beater too. Like, it makes the deck really competitive. Also, Thunder King as well is another beater. It's a good turn 1. You could play around it, but your opponent can't most of the time. So, yeah, Thunder King in this deck is really good as well. I'd play 2 in this deck though. I don't think 3 is overkill because you do search in that deck as well. This deck was a big surprise to me. I don't have tour guides, so I play Thunder King in a lot of my decks too, because I think it's a really good idea. But I saw Thunder King in this deck at 3, and I was like, hey, I was doing that too. And what else? They were playing, hold on 1 sec. They were playing 3 Thunder King and a Neospatian Granule, and I was like, no way, this looks exactly like my agent build. Because if you don't have tour guides, 3 Thunder King is a great substitute, because it provides a lot of control, it's a light, like I've been saying before. Yeah, also this card provides a lot of control too, if you don't have tour guide. Or Maxis or whatever. Thunder King is a great substitute in this deck as well. I'd play 2 to 3. Even if you do have tour guides, it's still good. Yeah, so it's another deck. This deck is probably one of my favorite decks to play Thunder King in. I remember I mentioned this to my friends. I was like, hey, check out my Machina build. Oh yeah, my Machina gadget deck with Thunder Kings in it, and they were like, dude, you're nuts, you're on weed or whatever. I was like, nah, dude, I know what I'm talking about. You play Thunder King turn 1, or you could play around it in gadgets too, as long as you're not stupid and you don't like summon Gear Frame or a gadget with Thunder King on the field. Like, I played cards like Reborn Tengu in the deck too, but Thunder King is just such an all-around good card. It's a beater, it does it all. So yeah, I even played it in this deck. It barely conflicted, surprisingly. I also played this too. Because gadgets are kind of an anti-meta build. You can make them out to be. I play like 2 Thunder Kings in this deck. Maybe 3 if, you don't have anything else. But, yeah, it's really, really good in, like, pretty much every